Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life.
I don't know if that's going to come up.
Is it not? Okay.
No.
Hello.
There you go.
Brenda, sorry. Am I meant to say your name?
Yeah. Why not?
I feel a bit jumpy. I feel like I had too much caffeine or something.
Maybe.
What's happened to me?
And the other thing that I've noticed is you're actually dressed up for tonight.
Well,
You've got a shirt on a shirt. Oh,
wow.
what's that about?
Well, you just mentioned it before. We said we're talking to the best looking man in Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
So
I said Murra.
But well, true. That's true. Sorry.
He is
wind it back.
A handsome bloke. Oh, we're going straight to the guest then.
Oh, but no, we don't have to.
No, that's too late.
We will leave it. See what people think it is. They've clearly ruled out brisket already.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sorry, brisket.
All right, we have Dale Warburton. How are you, Dale?
Oh, very good. How are you boys?
Excellent, mate. Excellent.
A little flattered by the most handsome man in Bitcoin, but I'll take it. Eh? But you said it. I didn't say it.
It's a small screen, Dale. Don't worry. We're not certain.
We do have some internet connection issues in Bonnie Hills. Is that Doxy?
All right.
That's pretty Doxy, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
We're done. Little Doxy.
Yeah. How are you, man?
Good. Very good. Looking forward to Beechworth tomorrow. Things are going well, man. I've changed jobs recently, doing something that is out of the shitcoin world. So I'm living the dream, man. I'm actually really good right now. Yeah, I went through a patch of some significant challenges, let's put it that way, just working at a shitcoin publication, which we can get into. But I'm right now like in a really sweet space, digging it.
Well, let's do that. Let's go to the shitcoin rag before we then go on to what you're doing now. Do you think that's a good idea?
What do you want to do? You want to go? What the background is, and then go to the shitcoin rag, or do you want to just go straight to shitcoin rag?
No, let's go background. Okay. Yeah.
Just chronological, so people can understand the story, like how you've got to where you've got to, and then, but yeah, what I would like to do is have a kind of behind enemy lines type thing, if we can do that, because I think you've probably got a few things you can tell us. But
absolutely,
just set the scene, because people may have heard your voice before when we did a little bit of Murra with you, but
that's right.
But so they may have heard your voice
whiskey.
Before. The peanut butter whiskey, yeah. But so that you may have heard a little bit of this before, but give people a little bit of a background, and then we'll go into that. Is that okay?
Yeah, cool. All right, thanks. Yeah, well, I guess the South African accent gives it away. So I'm an African. Been in Oz for like 5 years, and my background was in law, but I didn't practice a day in my life. But it did teach me how to think critically. So that was always something. I also did a degree in political philosophy. And that was actually my favorite thing that I did. I learned a lot about all different kinds of political philosophies, and I guess maybe that's when I first got a little taste of libertarianism. A chap by the name of Robert Nozick got me interested. He said, sort of taxes legitimize theft, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. I like that. So, so that was sort of like, I guess that's the background there. Got into commercial real estate, and then I think, in terms of my Bitcoin side, like first heard about it, 2013, 14, just it sounded a bit silly. 2017, I sort of was semi-celebrating its downfall at that time, because I was like, this thing doesn't have a cash flow. It's just like a digital rock, it just doesn't do anything. I was like a so-called value investor. I'm not going to pretend like I was picking stocks or anything like that. I'm not a Preston Pish, but, I would just buy indices and, just be disciplined. And I didn't really check my portfolio every day. It was just like, that's what I'm doing for like, I was doing that up until 2020. And then
in your own time, that wasn't professional. That was just for fun.
Totally. Yeah. So, I'm sort of like, I'll I'll be honest, like I'm not the best employee. I'm a bit of a rogue, so I've done a bunch of different things. I've been in technology, I've been in commercial real estate, I've done all sorts of different things. But in 2020, we moved across to northern New South Wales, and I was on a visa that didn't allow me to go work across literally in the Gold Coast. So we stayed sort of less than 10 Ks from the border, but I couldn't legally go work there.
So is this
Just the way
Tweed Heads or
just south of Tweed Heads. So I was in Casuarina.
oh yeah, right.
So yeah, so that we were there, and the plan was, all right, we stayed in Adelaide for two years or so, and then what happens is you can apply for permanent residence after that. So the idea is Adelaide sponsored us as a visa from South Africa. They're like, you stay here for 2 years, then you can do whatever you want, apply for permanent residence, but you need to live in a regional area until your visa comes through. So I had to live in northern New South Wales. I couldn't live in Gold Coast because it wasn't regional. It's just the law. So I couldn't work in Brisbane, couldn't do anything like that. So I was like, you know what? I'll do a financial planning diploma. Always wanted to beef up my finance game and watched a ton of videos, macro stuff, really, really got sort of deep into it. Saw some videos of, from Simon Dixon and Raoul Powell. I mean, since the guy's become a bit of a,
but early, I was.
I remember you telling me how great Raoul was early on.
He was good early. He was. Anyway, sorry.
He was totally on the money. He identified the problems, and I don't know, like the boy just got greedy. So anyway, yeah. So that was sort of that, and then so I was like, okay, you know what? I'll wait to get my visa, and then we'll go to Brizzy. Well, you apply, and then COVID happens, and then 18 months later, you haven't got it. So then, at this stage, I was like, I have to do something to earn an income. And so then I just applied randomly for a couple jobs, and one of them was at a shitcoin rack. And I remember I was in Airlie Beach on holiday, and I got an email saying, hey, do you want to have an interview tomorrow? I was like, what the fuck is this? Oh, shit, no, this crypto crowd. Okay. Because I wanted to work in Bitcoin, but, because I discovered it, and I thought this is just, phenomenal stuff. I got really sort of deep down the rabbit hole, wrote a sort of dissertation on it. I did the whole spiel, and I was like, okay, I want to work in this space, but yeah, it's hard. So that's how I got into shitcoinery.
So is your partner South African as well?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we both came across here. But yeah, she's got a British passport, so she's not as bothered by things as I am. But I've only got what they call a green mamba, which is South African passport. So it's fairly limiting, to say the least.
Got you. So you're thinking, I want to work in Bitcoin. I can write about Bitcoin in a shitcoin magazine. Is it magazine?
It was online publication.
Online, yeah. And if I'm the Bitcoin writer in the shitcoin magazine, that's my in, and then I'll start. Then I can forge a path that way, right?
Yeah, it kind of started that way, and it was just literally, frankly, there weren't that many alternatives. If your primary sort of experience is in commercial real estate, which is very much sort of hands-on, and that entire market had collapsed because tenants weren't paying rent. So in other words, the jobs weren't there. So from that perspective, there was just no opportunity. So I had to figure out a way to pivot and earn income remotely. And that's how I kind of it was quite surprising, but I've always been a bit of a writer. So it kind of felt natural. And so I started out just writing. And then the guy who got appointed as a managing editor was this old bugger, and he was a bit of a technophobe. So a couple of weeks later, the guy said, listen, can you just take over all that stuff? Because this guy's just, he's not on top of things. And yeah, and that's sort of how I got into it. And I sort of first got exposed to media, and, I guess got to see how the sausage is made. Yeah.
All right. So there's the question. How is your sausage made? What have you seen that you sorry, I won't even ask a question. How is the sausage made?
Okay, so I guess it's no surprise. So there's 3 different revenue streams. Firstly, so they got paid posts. You've got affiliate revenue. A paid post would be I'm pretending to write the news, but I'm actually promoting this shitcoin project. Another one would be there's a banner ad. Just clicking a banner ad. And then the other one would be affiliate revenue, where a company like SwiftX, I'd never say their name right, but effectively they were one of our biggest partners. And so people would click on there, they get a referral, and then there'd be this sort of recurring revenue sort of paid off because you get this like lifetime kickback. So 30% of all fees that SwiftX get earned on a user would go back to us. So you can imagine if you've referred 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people, suddenly now you start making some bucks. So that's the revenue model. It's not really incentivized towards optimizing user welfare, obviously.
Or telling the truth, right?
No, there's nothing truthful about it. So it's like it's about catchy headlines. So you can think of it really gave me insight to like the news.com.au kind of journalist style, which is like you include a number. If you include a number in it, it gets more clicks. You fear porn is fantastic stuff. So you got to like losses or crazy gains is also like another one. So you sort of muck around with different headlines and you get to see over time what works because you're looking at the analytics and you see what these poor folks are clicking on. And my job,
that's it. That's what you're trying to. You're trying to create clickbait, right?
Exactly. And it's not about actually people that are loyal. So that's the most important thing. So like, who gives a shit if you visit my site once or if you come back every single day? All I care about is impressions. It's not about building like a brand or about building like a loyal subscriber base. You actually think, hey, this publication's got something to say. It's more about like when I go to advertise, I go, I've got X 100,000 impressions a month or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, right.
I mean, but that's not that's not exclusive to shitcoin rags. It's the entire media model now, which is terrifying.
And also, I think even like I'm going to trigger people here, particularly any Brits listening, but the BBC used to be considered. I mean, you could argue it's the most insidious organization, but it used to be considered a respectable organization, and there still will be people within it fighting desperately to tell the truth, right? Genuine journalists.
Not unlike the ABC here, I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably true, right? Yeah. But even with the best of intentions, if all of your competition starts to do the opposite and it's literally just writing clickbait headlines and trying to sell advertising, then all of a sudden, it just from a financial perspective. You either do it as well, or you don't have you don't have an organization anymore. Is that fair, Dale? Do you think that
it's honestly spot on? It's a race to the bottom in a way because if nobody pays for news, that's the issue. So like even if it's $1 a day, like everyone's gonna be like, well, why am I going to do that? So that's the issue. So the model is problematic. Which, if you think about Bitcoin, a lot of the time we talk about like incentives being broken. It's the incentive. So what is a media company supposed to do? So like, I'm not defending shitcoin publications, but there's no other way. Like nobody's going to pay to read about Tron, or this cum rocket that went, X% up. No one's going to do that. So it's got to be free. How do they earn money?
Sorry, can I just ask, is cum rocket a real thing, or is people just saying cum rocket?
I think it is.
Is that a real thing? Sorry. Okay, fine.
It's a real thing.
All right, cool. Sorry.
Well, yeah, it's not real, but it is.
Yeah, of course. But it's like a real pretend thing. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. Sorry, Dale. Cut you off.
Yeah. So anyway, no, that's exactly. So you guys have got it. So I guess that's one of the main, that was some of the key things that I took away from it. And there's no real resolution because if people want to report in this space, it's never going to be a sort of subscription model. It's always going to be an advertising model. And there isn't an alternative. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like you're going to offer, like you could argue like the block try to do like, we do alpha, I'm putting inverted commas for listeners, but it's like, we give you trading tips, and that's sort of like for, a subscription model and a little bit of advertising. But what we saw with SBF and that whole saga was, he had paid off all the shitcoin rags to effectively just promote his garbage. So that's just how the cookies crumbled.
So does somebody come to you? Excuse me. Does somebody come to you and say, listen, whoever it may be, SwiftX, right? We have a company. It doesn't matter who it is. Some companies come to us and they're prepared to give us X dollars, but they want to be included in a so-called journalistic piece, right? So we're going to write a story about why, but make SwiftX the solution, or like how does that, like how is it so obviously carried out that way, or is it more insidious than that? Like how insidious than that?
I suppose from what I've learned, and I worked at two shitcoin rags, and one was more professional than the other. So the one was owned by Nine Networks, so it definitely had this machinery where I learned a lot more, and like about how media actually works. But it's literally a case, in many instances, like 15 grand to write, to post something about this, or to write an article about that. That's as simple as it can get. What we used to get, and what I used to get, was a shitload of press releases from any of the 20,000, God knows how many there are now, projects, and they would be like, Come Rockets team could say, we're going to the moon, and here's what we've done. We've got this, Alpha 2.7 has launched, and the new tokenomics platform, and this is where you can trade NFTs. I'm just using buzzwords because none of them make sense. They would literally just they would use terms like NFTs, Web3, decentralization, but nobody knows what it means. Nobody cares about what it means. It's all about hype. It's about inflating your own bags. And look, I've seen even stuff where a guy, for example, who ran the one shitcoin rag, he had bought a bunch of NFTs, and then in order to try and inflate that collection's value, and it was just some trivial pictures, we did an article, the top 10 projects that you got to get into right now. And I'm just like, Jesus, shameless. But this is the kind of stuff I've seen. And it's like, that's why I've got such a disdain for the space, because it's just like, it's beyond unethical. It's exploitative at the highest extreme.
And again, it's not exclusive to crypto. Like, say, even, I mean, I could be wrong, but whether you agree or not, the whole venture capital industry, where people are looking for seed funding and all that kind of stuff, they're spouting a lot of vernacular that doesn't make sense. It's hard, it's near impossible to understand because it doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And then you've got these rich investors that are like, fucking this young kid, it looks like he can stand up in a crowd and tell me what this is all about. He must be, must be going places. Here, take my money.
That Vitalik guy looks like a clever geek.
Oh yeah, man.
Right? Like that's what he's clear. I mean, that's just chosen, right?
Yeah.
Like let's pick a guy who looks a bit odd, looks like he might be quite wacky, quite clever. He might have come up with something that.
But even in government space, you go to like outsourcing contractors, all that kind of stuff for various software platforms and whatnot. You look at their websites and the collateral that they release, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Again, it doesn't make sense. But your upper echelons, your executive team go, well, they've got a fancy website, and if you scroll down the website, this thing pops over here. It looks really professional.
Yeah, and
it must be good.
And the guy's $2,000 a day, so
yeah,
clearly he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my old world, right? Government bring in contractor, and government contractor spouts bullshit buzzword, charges a big fee, and isn't there for the shit hitting the fan. That's the world I came from. So it's no better. But just a different industry, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Almost a different wrapper. Like, I'll tell you guys a funny story. So, obviously SBF, melts down. My former boss literally did PR, was the PR person for SBF. You can't make this stuff up. So the cognitive dissonance that went through this lady's head when he obviously was just rugging everyone, behaving like a complete fraud. And it was like, no. He had good intentions. They believed all the effective altruism stuff,
Yeah.
And so like, anyway, I try to like think this is my opportunity to pounce. This is my time to say, guys, let's be serious here. Like, who are we? What do we stand for? So we have this sort of like come to Jesus meeting about this whole like, like the whole industry's collapsing. Like, can we just figure this out? And so I went and did this whole lot of work, and I said, let's just talk about decentralization. And I started saying, everyone talks about it, but what does it mean? Are we talking about there's more than one user? Are we talking about nodes? What are we talking about? And I go on and on and on about a couple different things, because I'm just poking holes in crypto. And I'm just saying, it's smoke and mirrors. These are securities I don't care if you want to trade them. They are securities. And then the CEO says, stop. It sounds like you're selling me Bitcoin. We don't have time for this. He wanted to do a headline workshop. So I'm like, dude, you're not interested in what's fucking happening here. So yeah, that was like kind of where I totally lost all hope that, no, this is unsalvageable. This is a hot mess. And yeah, that was quite funny.
So like how early did you clock though? Like when you sort of rocked up as, young, eager Dale on your first day, I'm not
that young, bro.
I think you're younger than me. Yeah. When did you actually clock it? Fuck off. When did you clock it? You know what I mean? Like you must have been pretty early, or was it just like you were just doing a job, turning up and just interested, I guess, in how, I guess, the machinations of that industry work? But yeah, what was the catalyst?
I mean, like, I only figured out media when I started my second job. So that was last year, my second shitcoin job. I figured out crypto from the outset because I kind of had a bit of a legal brain. I'm like, when you just work through the buzzwords, what's the substance? Because, in law, you can construct whatever arrangements you want. But if you go to court, they're going to go like, what's actually happening here? You know what I mean? Like, it's not rocket science. We can see what you've done. You've raised money from a bunch of people. You've sold these tokens. They're shares. Call them what they are. Like, that's fine if you want to call it innovation. But, and I managed to sidestep that shitcoinery from the outset, largely because I saw a bunch of amazing people like Lynn Alden and Rug Pal, and there were a bunch of people that I went to a website called Case Bitcoin, and I was like, what's the sort of, let me understand all the pros and cons, let me understand all the challenges and the arguments. It's quite an underutilized site, actually. And so the shitcoin side, fortunately, I was always inherently like, I'm not playing this game. I'm with Bitcoin, actually more, not from a financial perspective as much as like philosophically it resonates with me. But the media game, I only really, really understood last year. And that's when I was like, no, it's totally fucked. I don't want to ever be a media again.
So do you think, so if you take somebody like, if you were reading like a Parker Lewis article, right? And you're halfway down and and then after halfway down there's a paywall. Personally, I'd be tempted to pay, right? Now, or if you take, like, I think Marty Bent is now putting things behind paywall, like, or James Lavish, he's got a paywall behind informationist now, right? So, I mean, there are things. Lynn Alden, there's another one, paywall. So people are willing to pay for what they believe is quality content, but can people? Is it just that you can't? The level, the numbers that you can get to behind the paywall are just nowhere near what you can get to from just lying to your readers. It's
more a case of the sophistication of the reader. So the less sophisticated you are, the less they read. I actually had the less likely they're going to be paying to read. So you might have people who are thoughtful, who want to really get pure signal. They want to follow a couple macro people like Lynn and James and Foss and whoever else. And if they got content, they'll pay. But then, like I've literally like learned how to think like a normie because our headlines cater to them and they don't read. So I would write these, what I thought was very good articles, if I didn't say so. And it would be like, say, 7 minutes to read. There's a little like icon on it. And then I'd go and I'd always just check and refresh my kind of my articles to see how they're doing. And people would take 46 seconds to read them. And you're like, you're not speed readers. So you're definitely just going headline, first paragraph, next. And that's how people read. And that's literally how 95% of people consume media these days.
Well, the other thing too, with not just the headlines, but obviously you can talk to this, the articles themselves. So the headline would be, I don't know, Prince Harry had this terrible breakfast, And then you click in, and then you scroll down, and then it goes, oh, I had this terrible breakfast, and then Megan said this. Blah, blah, blah. You got to get right the way down before you get what the headline means, which is obviously a strategy to get people scrolling past ads. Is that correct?
Yeah, they try. It's difficult. So, and you've also got to write it in a way that's SEO optimized, which is often short sentences. So don't get cute. Google wants you to write like a bit of an idiot. So, the dog sat on the mat, full stop. Yeah. The mat was very cold. Full stop. Just like, you've got it like literally. And then because there are these tools in the back end of a CMS like WordPress, which will go bright green. It's like, boom, you've nailed it. Your SEO is dreamy. And you're like, when I first was editing some people's work, it was like, Jesus, you write like a child. And it's like, this is how you actually have to do it. Sorry.
Oh,
okay,
excellent.
My bad.
That's great for humanity.
Well, then you sort of wonder about like Chat GPT. Was it called Chat GPT?
GPT, yeah.
Like or like that, because that's going to be the same, is it not? Or is it not? Is it going to it's going to start? Give me a 10-point bullet point article.
Oh, it does. I actually a colleague at work or in larger council. Actually, I was talking to him 2 days ago, and he had this massive. He's like in environment or something. Had this massive report that he fed into Chat GPT, and he said, give me this in, summarize this in 3 paragraphs. So he could actually, and they just went bang, did it. And then he used that for some summary or something that he had to submit as a report.
So dangerous though, right? I mean, if you're also then reading it back and apply it and using your own brain to critically think about it, does it make sense? Does it cover the points I'm trying to cover? Or maybe you should have just done it yourself. I don't know. It's a slippery.
We've peaked.
Slope.
We have absolutely peaked as a species.
It's weird. It's very weird because it affects, I think, so many industries. It's totally bizarre. Like I used it for headlines. I just said like write 5 outrageous clickbaity headlines.
Oh, and really?
I would just and then because the way it worked with us, we did like have a channel where you go post 3 headlines, and then you'd have something called a subcell, which is like Donald Trump does XYZ, and then underneath it goes orange man bad, or whatever it might be, so that people might click. So you had to each time like go and publish this on a group, and then other people would chip in. But I use that. I've also seen it. I saw an ad yesterday, and I said to my wife, "Is this like someone famous?" She was like, "Yes, Katy Perry." I was like, "That's not real. Like that's an AI generated image, at least the one." And I've started to see it now with corporate images where people are taking, like you guys could take a photo of yourselves and then push it through, not ChatGPT per se, but some other AI stuff. And it would literally put you in a suit and tie, overlooking, behind, like you'll be at Central Park or something silly. Like it's ridiculous. Things are getting absolutely out of hand.
So where does it go? Like, are you frightened by that? I'm frightened.
I don't think it leads us to a good place.
No one trusts anyone or anything until you can verify.
Yeah. So were you only print, or were you also video? Or
no video, only just literally print, which is actually a bit silly because video is quite like because my wife said she's done a lot of work in marketing, and she's always was like, you guys should just do video because it gets a ton more engagement than people don't like to read. They'd rather just watch a quick little video on average.
Well, that's why TikToks and YouTube shorts and all that is just booming.
Yeah. And even 100%. A meme, like you don't even have to have a word, or like a meme, where a static meme can be more effective than like somebody could have written, I don't know, War and Peace or something, but the static meme is actually reaches a much bigger audience. Like I remember somebody saying, what is it? Imagine you'd put your life and soul into a drama, fought a TV network for years and years and years, and finally got it commissioned, and then it goes out on a Friday night and on mainstream TV, and then you say to somebody, well, how are the numbers looking? And somebody says, well, it's going okay, but Gogglebox is doing better.
Yeah.
And people on Gogglebox, you're actually watching the guy who's watching it.
Oh no, it's stupid.
It's so awful, isn't it? But I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. Like,
yeah, idiocracy. Idiocracy. Yeah, sorry, that's the one.
yeah.
All right. So you've moved on from shitcoin raggery.
Nice pivot. Yes, totally. So I'm back in the commercial real estate game, which I always enjoyed. Not the property management, but like the sort of on the transactional side. So now I'm doing what's called tenant representative work, which is like basically help tenants find space, and then I negotiate on their behalf. And so the idea is I know more about the market than you do, and so I'll get you a better deal than you could have on your own. I'll take all the legwork out for you, and basically it'll save you a lot of money in the process. So that's what I'm doing right now. Work with a really sweet dude, like in a small setup, lots of room to grow and just have fun. And I'm just meeting people, because that's another thing about media. It's very isolating. I'm gregarious and like, working behind a screen 8 hours a day. It's super stressful because you got to churn content all day. Like, like if I had to go to the doctor or whatever, I'd just have a bloody heart attack, because it'd be like, okay, it's going to take me half an hour to the doctor. Okay, I'm there. And the doctor's always fucking late. It's just, and then like, I'm always stressed. And then like, where's the article? Why aren't you reviewing this? Because everything is done digitally, so anyway, I've moved on. And kind of what's cool about it, I think, is it just gives me a lot more freedom now to pursue Bitcoin, not necessarily like from a professional perspective right now, but like just like as a passion and a hobby. So it's like I say, UFC, Bitcoin, and the African bush are my 3 like undying passions.
You say UFC?
Yeah, I love that shit.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite fighter?
Oh, it's a really hard one, but it depends on the weight class. So, but like I love Blessed Holloway, Max Holloway. He's fantastic. But yeah, like I don't know. It depends on the weight class.
You know what? I asked that question, but then I'm like, I don't actually know any other than Conor McGregor. And I did watch it for a while, and I really liked Anderson Silva, but I don't even know if he's fighting anymore. Is he out?
Yeah. No, he's long retired, but
too old.
But yeah, I mean, he's in his like mid-40s now, I reckon.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, those are kind of my 3 things. So now I get to pursue just Bitcoin like as a pure passion, and it's kind of where I just spend all my time reading and learning. And I'm hoping to find a way to contribute meaningfully, and maybe we can talk about this. I don't know if you. Like, this is, I think, a good pivot. So I was going to talk about this actually at Beechworth, but it's not even going to come out till after, so we may as well. So I'm sure you guys have seen if you're reading the tea leaves, you can just see the SEC is starting to really like tighten the screws on not only the actual shit coins like Justin Sun, but also the actual casinos. Okay. And I'm loving this, and this is something we've been saying forever.
Yeah, Brian had a bit of a meltdown today. Did you see Brian's meltdown today?
Yeah,
it was like a polished media acceptable meltdown, but still a meltdown.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So and so like, what I was thinking is, I'd really love to see somebody really just take the lead here and target some of the shitcoin casinos and the biggest projects here, and we run with it and we expose them for what they really are. That to me would be, I can't do this on my own. I'm not an Aussie lawyer. We'd need like someone who does this pro bono, but this is one of the things I want to talk about at Beechworth, because I actually want to see these motherfuckers go down. I absolutely loathe them.
I remember you saying that at Murrurundi last year. Oh, yeah, last year.
Yeah.
And I've actually thought it would be cool, almost like a Michael Moore style thing, where he got a ficus elected. Michael Moore?
Yeah.
He's a very left-wing guy.
Yes.
Did Fahrenheit.
Yeah, Fahrenheit 9/11 and
but actually having some filmmaker actually come in and just document what it's like to create a shitcoin, go for capital, and just show how it's just all a scam,
like a sting, like you actually look like you're trying to do it.
Yeah, look like you're trying to do it, get investors. I don't know how you do it legally, because you're going to be taking people's money to float this thing. But no,
but you could stop before you took the money.
Yeah, or you could give the money back or something. But you just go, it would be an epic troll if it's done well.
Richard James.
Totally.
you know Richard?
Well, is that the dude who did the documentary?
Yes.
Yeah. He's done a couple.
done
He's
three.
gone quiet.
I haven't
though.
heard from Richard in a while either, but he's done the three, certainly three that I'm aware of. Now I'm going to be tested. Hard Money,
Hard Money,
Enemy,
Petrodollar.
well done.
I don't know
I
the other
call
one.
it Enemy of the State, but it's not Enemy of the State, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might be a guy.
But you need someone smooth and charismatic like a Dale to actually be the guy.
God, not at all. I think you know what the one advantage is, and this is like a cultural thing about Australians. They don't really like as a South African, I'm a little bit like people perceive me maybe as a bit of a bit too direct. You know, that's kind of the one way to put it. They don't like. I might piss some people off, but in this space, the way I kind of think about it is that I actually don't have any friends in crypto, and I want to burn all the bridges, and I want to expose them all. And I would love to figure out a way that I could contribute to something like an effort like that. It's going to take quite a lot of money if you were going to produce something like that, but wouldn't it be like phenomenal if you could create something where you do create like Ozcoin or whatever the hell it is, and it's got all these sorts of promises of participating and experiences in Early Beach. I mean, you just all the garbage, everything they do, and then eventually and you approach the likes of Binance and SwiftX and get those greedy fellas to sort of go, oh yeah, okay, cool. Oh, okay, so you have to pay to list on these places, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's also part of your revenue. Okay, cool. Expose that shit, and then literally manufacture pump and dumps. Literally go and get a celebrity. I'm not saying Ricky Ponting, but get a dude to be like, I just bought like a shitload of Ozcoin, and like boom, and then you dump the hell out of it, and then like we're like boom, we've made a lot of money, and then there can be a feel good part to it at the end. Like we'll give everyone back their money and they can, live happily ever after. But if you could sell something like that to Netflix or Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, dream.
Yeah. Like a
100%.
Like a truthful, like documenting it from start to finish and just to show what the model is, just to expose the VC, just in early fleece the retail.
And then go on to the next project.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
So if essentially that's what they're doing. It's just that they're not documenting it or exposing themselves.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing, right? That's a good idea.
It's exactly the same. And like, I mean, if I was making and this is why, like, I actually wanted I'm a nobody here, but I would love to if I had a platform, because I've got fuck all followers. Nobody cares, but I would love if ASIC cared what Dale thought. I'd be like, you guys are asleep at the wheel because there's all this shit happening over here. I mean, you've got this token called Steppen, which is like a play to, what is it? Not play to earn, but it's like you're exercising to earn a token. And it's a dude in Adelaide.
Sweatcoin. There's another one called Sweatcoin, which is just
all this kind of garbage.
Yeah.
And when you actually dig into the tokenomics in inverted commas, it's an absolute pump and dump because there's always a shitload of insiders who got it at a discount, and then they use all of that. They raise funds by actually selling it on these exchanges who take money, and then they'll use all those proceeds and then they market the hell out of it. And then they don't have lockup periods all the time. Sometimes they do, but there's like a dude I follow on Twitter who's got it's called Unlock Calendar, and it actually just says this much of this token is unlocking. And so you can actually see when the insiders are dumping this. So like another wonder boy in inverted commas of Australia is like the boys at Immutable, who are creating this blockchain gaming horse shit.
I don't know.
I have to tell you this. Okay, someone might slate me for this. Okay, this is hilarious. Blockchain gaming, these billion-dollar companies, there's two in Australia. There's Illuvium and there's Immutable. Okay. When you create a blockchain game, and this is now something I had a chat with someone in my previous role with a crowd in Singapore, and she was an analyst, and we just wanted to get some of the inside data. Blockchain games are a total scam in the sense that if you were going to create a game that is based purely on the blockchain, every time your character moved, literally like half a centimeter, your leg moved, that would constitute a transaction in a block. Now you can imagine who the hell is running all those nodes, like, you know.
What?
So in other words, it's completely and utterly inefficient to try and base a game on the blockchain. So what actually happens is it all happens in centralized servers, and then the tokens that they flog are the blockchain part. So if I call myself the Dale blockchain game, literally 99% of it is happening on a Amazon Web Server. This is what we're up against. This is who we're dealing with. So that's why I get so pissed.
I mean, so
what do you say? What do you say? Either ignorant or willfully deceptive?
yeah, it's one or the other, isn't it? Or both.
Or both?
Oh, I mean, can you be both? I'm not sure if you can be both. Maybe a little bit of both. Yeah. So if go on gaming for a bit, then, right? So I'm not a gamer. Brendo's a gamer, but I do see huge value in. Let's say you play Tiger Woods golf and you want to play FIFA. Like, you create value, like you become really good at golf, and you create tokens or whatever it might be in you know, Tiger Woods golf. But then you never want to leave that game. This is deliberate, obviously. They don't want you to leave that game, but you want to play this other game, but you can't take your value with you. Your value's locked in that Tiger Woods game. You can't then take it over to FIFA and start playing FIFA. I do see value in, but why is it possible to be playing within a game for Satoshis, and then you can just stand up, walk over there, start playing another game, and dump your Satoshis another game?
Not yet, but that's where Light Night, how they started and what they were saying.
But they ditched it, right?
They did
went
ditch
to
it
like
to
Solana,
right?
Yeah. So is it not possible? Or, I mean, I can see the value in it. Like,
No,
I can understand why a gaming house doesn't want to do it.
You totally could. I mean, the thing with, say, something like Fortnite is that V-Bucks are for them only, right? So Epic Games is a huge corporation that creates a lot of games, but you're paying dollar value or fiat for V-Bucks to then spend in the game. They don't want you, if it was able to be transferred, they don't want you to go to Activision and use those tokens in Call of Duty
because they don't want
because you're not. Yeah, exactly.
Right. But is it like, okay, let's do a different example, right? So let's say you're playing Fortnite, not Fortnite. What's the other one called? Roblox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's, you know, thousands and thousands of games within Roblox. And let's say you can, you know, build a world that other people want to come into, right?
Yep.
And play around in, whatever that means, right? But then you actually then create, you know, avatars or whatever it is that within that game that are weapons or houses or, you know, flower, it doesn't matter. But people are prepared to pay for that with their Robux. Is it ever possible for you to come as the coder, as the designer, to bring that what's it called, Robux back into dollars? Or no. Somebody's doing it. Is it just them?
No, but
because they're not like the people behind Robux are not just doing that to make Robux that they made up.
No, but
they're never going to eat.
But the people that are, sorry, Dale, you may not be interested in this at all. But the people that
I'm loving this,
people that are making Roblox games are often like teenagers, like savvy teenagers. They make the games and they want more Robux
to spend within the game,
to spend within other Roblox games.
Wow, that's just how predatory is that on children. Basically,
well, they're children themselves. Children's.
No, but like if you have a skill to make a game that people like, that's great because people like it. But you can never take that value out into anything else. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
So how somebody so Roblox themselves are the only people is it true that Roblox themselves, or Roblox, sorry, and they're selling the vouchers within the supermarket, whatever they're doing. So they're selling them for dollars.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So are they the only people making money in that ecosystem?
My understanding is yes.
Holy fuck.
But the players are valuing Robux.
I get that, and that's fine. But you know, it's not, you can't build a career around it.
No.
Or, you know, eat.
But that's when the streaming comes in. Anyway, this is a whole other conversation.
It's an interesting one, but I tend to think that, like, okay, when people talk about these things, can't I take my little magical sword and, you know, be able to, like, I've earned my sword and can't I go and play it in this game, or interoperability and all this kind of stuff. I always think, like, what is wrong with fiat? Like, why can't you just attribute, like, why can't there just be like a marketplace where if let's say you've earned your like sword in Fortnite. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't play those sort of games. I'm more of a sports gamer, but you know, a sword, and now you're like, okay, I've worked my ass off to get the sword. It's actually got like $1 value. Some chumps like, I don't want to play, you know, 100 hours to get the sword. I just want to go and pay for it. There should be these marketplaces in fiat, not in Roblox or Fortnox blocks or whatever, you know, bucks or whatever,
yes.
you know, but or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
or something that is actually money, like Satoshi.
They, I guess the problem I've got is that it's almost like they start at the end and they start about how can we create a token and exit liquidity, and they work the designer on the game, you know, based on that. Mm-hmm. It's not about like, you know, how do we improve like the user experience? Because like gamers always complain about that, but anyway, we've gotten off Bitcoin, but in that sense, like it was just fascinating for me to learn how centralized blockchain games are, and they're not even blockchain games. It's just marketing. It's bullshit, basically.
Yeah, I'm going to say one more thing about gaming. Surprise, surprise. So that the model, right, for buying V-Bucks, Robux, whatever, is that you pay. Let's say you pay $10 and you get 1,000 Robux or 1,000 V-Bucks. A battle pass or something costs you 900 or it costs you an amount, or, you know, certain things cost you however much, but it never gets to that 1,000. So you always have
this tiny little balance is worth nothing.
Exactly. No.
So you have to go top up to get the next thing.
Exactly. And yeah, it's clever because it's like, well, this is sitting here doing nothing. So I just got to top it up a bit more and I can get more. So anyway, it works for them.
Oh, I mean, it's because you go back to the magazine. It's clever. I always just think if people who were actually quite clever use their clever to go do something decent for the world, it might turn out to be okay. Maybe call me naive. I don't know. Like maybe I am.
I often say that, man. When I think about like scammers, I think, you know, and I've seen like a lot of like South Africa's full of like, you know, scammers and deceptive people, and you know, everyone's trying to make a quick buck and do, you know, it's a dog eat dog kind of society with, you know, it's broad strokes, but roughly true. And you know, I always think like if these people just plow their energy in something positive, like imagine what we could do. But unfortunately, lots of people just want to take kind of shortcuts. So they don't want to put in the work or whatever. Yeah, totally.
Well, I don't believe there's anything inherently different about people from South Africa. I just think that if you're in a country where you're like the rand is less stable than the pound, is less stable than the dollar, you know, like if you're in one of these unstable currencies, and there's worse than the rand, but you have to behave like that just to survive, right? It all goes back to the money.
Well,
I don't believe that people are any different at all. I mean, do you? You're from there.
South Africa is very unique because it's a very heterogeneous society. So there's like 11 different languages, and then even within the different sort of racial groups, you've got very, very different cultures. So, and they were not necessarily good mates, you know. And I don't know much about, you know, Australian history with the Aboriginal history and the different sort of tribes and whether or not they were kind of friendly or they had conflict. But at least in South Africa, there were like proper wars going back between various tribes, and they have a huge amount of distrust amongst each other. So yeah, it's a very unique continent. Well, Africa is unique, but I'd say South Africa is especially unique because it's got such a diversity of people, and it's almost like a strength, but also a weakness because it can tear us apart when it's in its worst manifestation, but in its best manifestation, when we all come together, like during the 2010 World Cup, it was, I can't even tell you what the energy like was in that country. Like we were just soaring. I mean, the currency was good. It was like 6 to the US dollar. It's now 18. And that's 2010. We had a populist socialist nightmare in charge for like 8 years, and he wrecked the economy.
Wow.
And the money got wrecked. So all the smart money went offshore. And it's the average person, like when I go back, it gets progressively worse. And I think to myself, I don't know how the average person survives. And they don't, to be fair. It's really harsh. So I'm very blessed to be here for all of Australia's regulatory.
That is cool to hear that about the World Cup though as well, because I know there's some, and I'm a little bit like this myself. I'm a big sports guy, but I would I've become sort of not less interested since I got into Bitcoin, but I just see it as sport now. I don't see it as life and death anymore. It's just sport, but sport's still good. So, but it's just these big events like your World Cups or your Rugby World Cups, your Olympic Games, or all these are good things because they're pulling in people from all different cultures, and people generally there's a pretty positive thing comes out. I think these things are really important still. Unfortunately, we have people like FIFA and like corrupt organizations that are just that turn people off totally. But the actual thing themselves and the getting together of like I used to go and watch Scotland play, right? So wasn't a great standard, but I was there because I was there with a good crowd of mates. It was a great day, and then at the end, we'd go and have a beer with a guy from Portugal or whatever it was, and that was great. And I didn't need the guy from Portugal to support Scotland. That was totally fine. Unfortunately, we were playing Portugal when they won, but it's just it's good fun. So these things are still really important. They bring people together. That's good to hear.
I do agree.
I really like that in South Africa too.
I'm thinking about the listener. I'm going to myself, geez, they're sitting there going like, what the fuck are these dudes talking about? They're talking about gaming, talking about sports. I want to ask you guys a question. So what's happening in Bitcoin right now that's really got you, like, what are you most interested right now when you look at things and you're seeing we're seeing the financial system kind of cracking around the fringes. We're seeing the banks collapsing. We're seeing Credit Suisse. People are talking about Deutsche Bank. Like, where's your guys' head at in terms of where we're at? Because I feel like this is our moment in a weird way.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel really just zened, I suppose. The whole DCA thing, I know everything's falling apart, and I constantly come back to that idea of like, what is everyone else thinking or feeling? Because it's not that I'm not feeling it, but if that whole thing, like if my normie friends and family don't have Bitcoin, like, are they really, really worried and anxious? Sometimes I'm still a little bit like, things could go south quicker than I can remain with my head above water. But yeah, I don't know.
So I'm a loser, Dale.
Correct.
I wish I was clever enough to be like the tip of the spear lightning developer or something. I'm not that guy. Right. So I'm a numbers guy. And so problem about being a numbers guy is once you get past the numbers in Bitcoin, which are pretty straightforward, you then have to go back and look at the thing that's fallen apart. I mostly spend my time on the thing that's fallen apart, which is the wrong thing to do.
Is that depressing?
Yeah, a bit. Because, well, it's what keeps me doing this.
Yeah,
it's what keeps me really, really annoying to my friends and family. Keeping doing this
stacking. Yeah.
No, not the stacking. More just like trying to convince.
Oh yeah.
Trying to convince. Like I am that guy turning up on your doorstep, and I don't want to be that guy. But if I think I can see what's falling apart, and I think I can understand what that means when it falls apart, within a wide range, but I think better than the average normie, right? It makes me, I can't look away. I can't look away. And I'm not trying to sound like a great guy. I'm not clever enough to be working on the other side. I can see what's happening. I can see what people are doing. I can think critically enough to go, okay, I like that. I don't like that. I like that. I don't like that. And sometimes I'll make mistakes, but most of all, I'll spend my time on the shitty side, which sucks. But maybe I'm a boomer. I don't know. Maybe. What about you? Where
You're
do you
a boomer at heart.
Yeah, maybe I'm just a wannabe boomer. What about you, mate? What are you looking at? What really you really care about right now?
I was watching Lightning really closely, and I'm like you, I'm not very technical, so I like to say I'm big picture because I'm more of, and I'm not macro qualified, but I really like to zoom out and look at things. And I've been in my first Bitcoin when I first bought Bitcoin, it was in May 2020, and we're approaching kind of the 3-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And I feel like more bullish than ever. And it's not because of your podcast last week. God.
But still, you're some boy, right?
I'm going to talk to him in Beechworth about that one. Excuse me. But like, I have this incredible sense of zen. Like you, Brenno, it's weird. It's very weird. I've gone through a crazy journey in Bitcoin in the sense of I made all the mistakes. I've made all the mistakes. I did BlockFi, I did Nexo, I did leverage. I did all that stupid shit. I dumped boards. Like, we came across with a chunk of assets in South Africa, and once it started clicking, I was like, my allocation was like, I'm going to make 15% to gold and Bitcoin. We'll do half. No, gold's bullshit. 15%. No. What's the point of bonds? Okay, 40% Bitcoin. Okay, I don't really need equities. What's the point? Okay, now we're all in. And, so I've kind of like over time, I've gone from pure elation, like where I'm like, I'm a genius. I am unstoppable, to like the pits of despair. Like, I've reached the pits of despair when I was like, I'm going to get margin called and I have to sell Bitcoin. And it breaks my heart to sell Bitcoin because I said, I'm never going to sell this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going to borrow. I'm going to do a sale. I'm going to borrow against it. I'm never going to sell it. So I've made all the mistakes. And right now I feel more comfortable and confident where we are. And I'm getting mocked by people. The more I talk about it, the more I get mocked. It's very weird. But I just
hang on. Who are you talking to? Who are those people you're talking to? Like friends or normies or Bitcoiners?
Normies, not Bitcoiners.
Yeah.
Bitcoiners get it. They get it. But normies, friends, they kind of go, you know what? Like they're going, oh yeah, how you doing now that Bitcoin's down? I'm like, don't care. I'm not playing T20 cricket, guys. So, I feel like the macro forces have conspired, and it's time. I'm not saying it's going to reflect in the price right away, but I don't think there's been a better time to make an allocation. And my frustrations with people is perhaps like you had, it's like, God damn, you can smell the fire. Like, let's get a small little slice of the action. Like, 0 is the wrong number. So
that's
but yeah, I love it. And I must say, like, I love the community so much. So I've never felt like more accepted and part of something epic than, like, as a migrant, you come to Australia, you feel like a bit of an alien. You might know hats and you kind of go, where do I fit in? This is my team. So I'm super stoked, and it's a great time to be in Bitcoin.
Fuck yes.
Totally agree. I think you're a full cycle. In fact, probably even 5 years is because you're then getting to see some stuff that you've already seen before. I mean, it's been happening quite quickly, but it's probably happening a bit quicker now. But a full cycle is great because it gives you all those emotions. You make all those mistakes, and you can see the mistakes you've made and learn from them the next time. If you can manage it through to the 4 years, I mean, clearly you're going to. But all I would say to people, particularly with Pete's pod last week, is like solvency is more important than gains. Right? Being a forced seller is the worst feeling ever. When you know you're right, it doesn't have to be Bitcoin. You know you're right on something, but you have to sell before you got to prove it. That's awful. So just taking, I mean, and if you know, and also if the person knows they're right or has a really strong belief that they're right, what that also means is that the price is going to be ridiculously high. So therefore, the level of risk you have to take right now is not high at all. Like, if anybody's sitting here listening that has nothing, I would say none of the three of us sitting having a chat here are saying you got to be 90% Bitcoin, 72% Bitcoin, 50% Bitcoin. You need to be 5% Bitcoin. Start there. Start at 2. Put in $5 a week, right? Get comfortable. Now, yes, I think all of us are probably more allocated than that, but we've been here a while and we've felt the pain of the drops and the kick in the teeth and whatever. So, if you're wanting to do that, go do that. But you don't have to do it that way. Solvency is the most important thing. Getting your family from here to there is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Intact. That's it. That's it. And
100%.
Not 100%.
5%. This decade, I keep saying this decade is a wild decade. And I'm saying between now and 2030, 2032 or something, there's populism, there's inequality, there's social unrest, shit's going down, and you can see it happening everywhere. The populist leaders are springing up in Europe. It's happening. This is the time to keep it together. Cash flow is king, and do not take leverage. Like, and don't, yeah.
Do
Take
I
it from
say?
me.
What do I say? No, as I do. Yeah, absolutely. But it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to learn from somebody else's mistake, right? Have to sort of learn from your
You
own
do,
mistake.
you do,
It
yeah,
sucks. But
Yeah,
if-
you're totally
go look,
right.
Go look at what gold did in Weimar, right? That's the chart. That is the only chart that matters. And you will see that gold went to the moon in Weimar, but also NMD on leverage got wiped out at least 8 times.
Yeah.
Right? They were right. All the way along they were right, but they were wiped at number 1, number 2, number 3, right? They got wiped. So you don't have to risk everything.
Exactly. Got
All
it.
right.
You're heading to Beechworth.
Yep.
Yeah. So give those. We're probably
We're running out of time.
we're running out of time
We'll
a little
wrap it
bit, but round up Beechworth for us, and we'll get this one out quickly if we can.
Yeah, guys. Beechworth is absolutely epic for anyone who has never been. It's a phenomenal gathering of Bitcoiners who are just all signal, no noise, wonderful people, welcoming, phenomenal environments. Yeah, it's like people you've never met, and then you feel like you've been mates forever. It's actually a bit weird. And I'll say this last thing: that Saturday night in Beechworth was one of the best nights I've ever had, and it reminded me of my wedding. I'm not joking.
Murrurundi or Beechworth?
No, at Murrurundi. When we had that, we're up until like 1:30 drinking, peanut butter whiskey. You were in bed, Brendo, but
I was around till about 11:30.
yeah, but it was phenomenal. Just connecting with like-minded humans, and yeah, I can't recommend it enough. So yeah, it's been awesome chatting to you boys, eh?
All right, mate. Do you want to give anyone your handle or anything? Do a little shout out.
I don't do anything influential. I'm at Dale M21M. So Dale 21M at Twitter. I just complain about things from time to time.
Yeah, nice. All right, girls, the best looking guy in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Go
10% of our listeners now are now ladies.
Is that right?
Well, now ladies. They maybe used to be men. I don't know, but
all right. Thank you, Dale.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Buddy.
Thanks, guys.
See you, buddy.